Welcome to another edition of the Free American Hour. I'm your host, Clay Douglas. And folks on the website, you're a little bit paranoid. Know anybody to know where you are? Come on, they can click on a picture of you and know where you are, where you were taken. So it's being a little bit too paranoid. All you people out there want to stay below the radar. Well, guess what? They still know where you are. They know where the address is. They know where you live. And they're probably listening or reading just about everything that you do. It's a police state that we're coming into, not because you're listening to me. Alright, don't be too paranoid. And my guest today is Will Spencer, the body electrician. Hello, Will. How are you?
Good morning, Clay. Glad to be back.
Nice to have you back. You're up on YouTube. We're up, and you're going to be doing a lecture. You got another one coming up. You just did a lecture. Is that correct? Where's your next one? When's it going to be? And where is it going to be?
The next one is tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. in Long Beach, Mississippi, just outside of Biloxi, at the university. I don't have the room number handy, but on my Facebook I did announce it. You can find it at Will Spencer on the Facebook page. I'm doing one tonight in Baton Rouge. If you live about Baton Rouge, want to come to this one, it's a kind of an impromptu one. Give me a message, and I'll give you the directions to that.
All right. Now, you just gave a lecture. Give us a sample here of the lecture. In the interview that we did a couple of days ago, I don't feel like I really nailed down what it is that you do, or what we can do. Maybe I'm just lucky. I just don't do pharmaceuticals. I don't do pills. And I never get sick. But what we talked yesterday, or day before yesterday, we discussed all of the things that are wrong: the genetically modified food, the chemtrails, the fluoride in your water, the the high markup, deadly dosages of pharmaceuticals. But I couldn't, going back and listening to the show that we did, I couldn't find out what you can do. Now, part of it, we did mention that part of it is, eating your trace minerals, getting the fulvic acid that our plant life used to have, doesn't have anymore, been depleted. If the soil's been depleted and they're feeding these poisons into our system, not to mention the radioactivity in the Gulf oil spill, what can you do? What do you tell people? Give us we've got the next 30 minutes. Tell us what we can do and how your lectures help people understand.
Well, we're down here around the Gulf because of the chemicals that they've been spraying, over 5 million to date gallons in the Gulf, as well as on the east coast of Florida, all the way up to the Carolinas. I got reports last week on Thursday. They were spraying heavily just outside of Biloxi, Long Beach, out of ways, because there was a new slick reported. What we found out is a program which we just call nature's chelation, where we use natural means, microorganisms from the soil, as well as minerals from the earth, ancient minerals and amino acids, and restoring the body's chelation ability, which not only pulls the chemicals and other petrochemical toxins, pesticides out of the body, but also chelation. The other side is pulling the elements needed for survival from what you're eating back into your body for nourishment. So the actual chelation is a twofold process. It not only pulls toxins out, but it also pulls or allows nutrients from our food to go into our body. And over the years, with helping people, shortly after we left Bingham there back in '02, 03, and I went on a fact-finding mission, and I found a lot of things, and that was regarding what we have today as our natural chelation program, which is restoring the body's ability to live in this chemical soup, and my talks have been down here of living in a chemical soup, which I'll be giving up in New York State in August at the Skywatch convention out on Long Island on the 6th through the 8th of August. I'll be up there also, sharing how we can stay alive, we can be fairly vibrantly healthy, because we're being bombarded by chemicals from the chemtrails, from our rain, and from the radiation that's all over the planet. Now pretty much North America is engulfed in radiation, and people don't really, they have a media blackout on the whole Nebraska thing, as well as what's going on here at the power plants in Louisiana, which nobody really knows about, except I heard from a local here that they're having problems here with radiation last night at a meeting we were at. And I've learned this from some very learned microbiologists and researchers that are no longer with us, because they were standing up back in the 90s and earlier in the 2007, and they lost their lives because they were going against the system and telling them with their research that they found in the universities that what the industrialization was doing to the food chain and to the environment was killing them, and you need to change their ways. So the louder they got, well, they don't want this information out, so they've killed them. And I learned a lot from these gentlemen. And just not too long ago, there was 3 or 4 other microbiologists that were attempting to reveal some of their research. Their information did not get published, and they lost their lives too. So this is the system's way of trying to keep it quiet, but it's not working too well. And so I've putting this information that I've gathered together, and with clinical experience of my own personally over the last, especially over the last 9 years, 8 years, have developed a pretty good program that gets the heavy metals out, even the lead from in the bones, the mercury, the barium, the strontium, also at the same time killing the mycoplasmas and these pathogens that have just taken over everyone's body. That's what I've been up to, and that's what we found to be, in our clinic to be very effective and relatively inexpensive. And it's all using natural means.
Now, I've had 2 doctors on my show in the last month that talked about the pharmaceutical companies, and one of those doctors cured herself of cancer. Not with radiation, not with the standard treatments, not with chemo, but simply by changing her diet. Now, and we've had lots of people talking about the cleansing of the body, but how do you do it? What methods do you use? What products do you use? How are we going to do this?
Well, in the search for something that works, I've had to actually develop my own manufacturing plant, and because I couldn't find the microorganisms that I wanted. If you look up in the store in the word probiotics, which is just an overall word that basically means microorganisms, you're very limited. You pretty much have maybe 12 to 20 microorganisms from the earth, and then you have a lot of other microorganisms that are lactic acid based or colonizing in the store. Your lactobacilluses, your acidophilus, your bifidus, some families of the bifidus. Those are you got to keep them in the cooler, or they're special handling, and they're very limited. There's less than 20 strains. So I went on a trek, if you will, and found over 350 strains of microorganisms from the earth, and formulated with some formulators around the world, and brought them together in some different combinations, because they won't all stay alive together in the same suspension. So we have several different products with a lot of microorganisms. Non-pathogenic, totally safe, They do not reproduce in the human body. They do their job and they pass on through, and this is what science has really kept kind of quiet, because these microorganisms, they reproduce in the earth underneath their parameters of reproduction, and they used to be in the food chain. If you look in the 1917 edition of Berkey's, I believe it's Berkey's Microbiology Atlas or whatever, they have a survey every few years of all the microorganisms that they can identify. A lot of these microorganisms that we have today were in the 1917 edition, but the 2007 edition, they're not. Well, we've gathered them and got them in combinations, and we've got, nearing 10 years of successful clinical usage now, and that's one of the main components we use are these microorganisms from the earth. The other one are minerals. The other show we did the other day, we talked about some minerals. Well, we have our own. We use hot water steam extraction out of the humic shale. We use our minerals.
I see. So you are getting from now. The lady that makes my mineral drinks, she uses 78 trace organic minerals. These minerals extract exclusive from a plant source. Our drink supplement is all natural. And it's processed by a unique method which not only retains the full functional value, but almost makes our product drinkable right from the bottle. She says trace minerals are essential for 95% of all metabolic functions of the human body. Unfortunately, the importance of minerals in the diet is often overlooked. The only form of mineral that the body can use is an organic plant-derived mineral, as opposed to inorganic minerals found in rocks and soil. The body can function without vitamins, but without minerals, the body will die. And one of the things she's got in there in this is the fulvic acid, which is not, they have to get it from prehistoric plant life. And it sounds like that's what you are finding and putting in your cleansing. She says it heals cellular damage. What do you know?
Absolutely. And there's only a few of us on the planet that actually understand that, I think, because it's not widely known. And we have the same, or similar, I should say, we have the similar minerals. It sounds like I haven't done any research on that product, but it sounds the same. Ours is definitely, it's got humic and fulvic and a few other natural occurring amino acids out of the plants. It's all extracted out with a heat steam process, which releases the mineral out of that humic shale. Our lab reports are showing anywhere from 73, all the way up to 83 minerals, depending on where the shale is mined. So it sounds like the same, but we don't put any other flavor enhancers. It's just water. It looks like mud, dirty water. I don't put any flavorings in it. It's just straight. That's what we use, and the power of those minerals is amazing. We have a marathoner up in Michigan that if he doesn't drink his 4 ounces of minerals a day, just every day on warm-up, just to keep practice, he runs 10 miles. If he doesn't drink his minerals and take a couple of other things, the enzymes and so forth, he has a hard time running 3 to 5 miles, and he's in his 40s, and he knows the importance of these minerals because he can only run half the distance. Otherwise, he just gets so tired and has to walk a bit and rest. And that's a testament of how deficient the food chain is. Our food has less than 18 minerals in it. Even the best organic you buy at Whole Foods. That's our own information, our own study on that. You can buy your own bricks meter and do your own testing. The food is deficient, no matter if it's organic or not. And the vitamin thing you read on there about the minerals are more important than vitamins, which I believe is wholeheartedly. But one thing is, the vitamins are created inside of our intestinal tract, but you have to have the microorganisms in us. These microorganisms re-eat the food that we eat and give us back vitamins. They give us back hormones. They give us back essential amino acids. They give us back these elements as well as that's 80% of our immunity are these microorganisms inside of us. And the new science is stating that over half of our cells in our body are really microorganism cells from the earth. The issue is with all these chemicals that we're being bombarded with every day, I mean bombarded as in attack, as in a war, everywhere, from our food to our air to our water to our environment, kills off these soil-borne organisms inside of us, and what's left is pathogenic organisms like E. coli and funguses and molds and yeasts. They can live in the presence of chemicals and reproduce inside of us. So we're basically loaded with pathogens. Our protection is gone because the soil microorganisms are not there anymore. So now we're susceptible to the crap. Our immune system is down. Our vitamin production is down. So all these processes, these natural chelation process that we are supposed to have, that we used to have 250 years ago, is not there anymore. So basically we're just putting back in nature in a balance that is supposed to be there, and then our bodies have an ability to process over 98% of these chemicals that are in our environment, in us. So that's our program.
Now, years ago, when you were down there with me, I was selling Miracle 2 soap, and one of the things that I sold was a neutralizer.
Right.
And I had people tell me, man, I couldn't walk a block. You know, I was taking these statins for blood pressure, this or that, and you know what? I started taking this neutralizer. Now, what was the neutralizer? The neutralizer was, it could have been two things. It could have been water with a positive spin or a right-hand spin, and it could have been the fact that it was alkaline, more alkaline.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I've done a lot of research with that, because it has a great short-term benefit ingesting that, because it does. There's an alkalinity difference, and it killed some pathogens. But the issue of long-term ingestion of that, and I've met several people since we left Bingham in 03. Remember Stan from Kansas? I sat on his front step as he was dying of liver cancer, and he was ingesting high amounts of that stuff, and I was reasoning with him why he should stop taking that, because I had 3 other people that I had run into over the years that were long-term ingesting of that, and it actually was killing off a lot of good things. I mean, it was doing good things in the short term, but long-term ingestion of that, I was seeing some problems with people that I was calling me and I was bumping into, and I did a little bit of research on that. So it had short-term benefit, yes, but the long-term effect was not that great. But I pretty much stick to using the Miracle 2 stuff externally. It does great for snake bites and venomous things and MRSA and stuff on the outside of the body, but its really long-term effect ingesting it is a little detrimental. So I don't know if you still carry that or whatever, but
I don't carry that. But what of the thing? This water. What about the water? Now they did something to the water, and I've got a gentleman to be on my show tomorrow that has talked about spinning water, and what he's doing, he puts 3 fingers together and 1 finger up, and puts it on either side of the coffee cup or his or water glass, and he says he spins the water. He says when the water comes out of the pipes, it's got a negative spin, and what he's doing, and he's doing something, because if you do it to a Coca-Cola, you hold your hand on either side and you charge this glass, only takes a few seconds, it will kill the carbonation in the Coca-Cola. It'll make wine taste better. It'll make coffee taste better. And he says it cures cancer. Now, he just sent me a film that showed somebody doing this same thing, holding their hand on either side of this water. Actually, they were doing it in a stadium, in a conference hall, and the guy was charging the water, and everybody had a bottle of water, and this guy was charging it, doing something doing something, and talking about the water. Now, what do you know about that? Is it possible that our water, the water we're drinking out of the faucet, besides having fluoride and chlorine in it, is being somehow negatively affected?
Absolutely. Every time you take water and you pump it, you filter it, you add chemical to it, you alter it from its natural state from the earth, whether that's running down a stream or in the underground water source. Every time the water molecule tension gets stronger, plus you have the spin on it, because most pumps are just impeller spins, and there's pressure and there's heat and there's other elements that tension or make that bond on the outside of the molecule of water stronger. You've all taken a glass of water and filled it up to the top, and it actually rises above the glass quite a bit before it falls over the edge. The higher it raises before it falls over the rim of that glass is a tougher or stronger water surface tension. Spring water right from the ground barely goes up over the rim before it falls. It's soft. They call it natural soft water. There's several different things. But the thing about the water with altering the water with your hand is we're all electrical magnetic generators. Emoto from the Orient has proven that by just taping the word love or holding the glass with thinking the word love changes the structure of the crystals inside the water. It cleans them, it puts them organized, and then the opposite of that was you take the word hate or anger, or you thought angry thoughts just by holding the glass of water, and then they froze the water, looked at the crystals, and the crystals were not very organized, and they were actually a darker color. In essence, we are doing that with our water. You pick up a glass of water, you can focus your intention, like Clay was saying, with your fingers, focused intention of aligning, of positive thoughts. You can alter that water. That's why the essence of prayer before you eat, in my opinion, really is you are infusing your food with positive thoughts or positive energy, because science now today is saying that we are electrical magnetic generators. Our brain waves are creating electrical thoughts and magnetism. You are, everyone's heard of the book, The Secret of the Movie. You draw in what energy you give out. And it's the same way with water. If you're giving off positive, loving intention, your water crystals in there will be aligned, will be cleaned, will be organized, and therefore it's going to be more nourishing to you. If you're angry, it's just like they got a couple of years ago, they did a study of people that were eating supper watching the nightly news, because everyone knows the nightly news is, for one, mostly not accurate. Two, is very disturbing and upsetting people's digestion. So they did a study of watching the news while you eat, and it upset everybody's biology because of the negative frequencies your brain is putting out, or your body's emitting, because the news is, most of the time it's not accurate, and it's definitely upsetting. So, and my goal, and that's why I call the website bodyelectrician.com, is my goal is to get your body, your electrical system, which is the majority of your body, at peak performance, so you vibrate high. Well, it's vibrant health is what we basically sell to people. That's our plans, our vibrant health plan, or our 90-day intensive vibrant health plan. Our goal is to raise your vibratory rate high, and then these toxins and parasites and pathogens They can't exist in a high frequency area. It's like a fire. The top of the fire, if they can actually read the frequencies and you get color, our eyes pick up the color frequencies. Down on the wood is a dark brown color, and as it heats up, you get all the different reds and oranges and yellows, and then right at the top, the highest vibration of that fire, there's no color. It's clear. And when your body's vibrations raise, you burn off the toxins. Things just go away. A healthy plant will repel the pests. A sick plant will attract the pests. We're no different. We have sicknesses and disease and pathogens because we're sick. Nature wants to recycle us. That's why fungus attacks human beings. That's why mold is living in human beings, because we're sick, and we should be recycled according to nature.
Yeah, I want to go to heaven, just not today, but
Right.
That's kind of recycling, isn't it? I think I've been recycled about 4,000 years.
I have a tendency to believe that too, because energy is never destroyed or created, it just changes form. So if we're energy beings in a physical body, why wouldn't our energy go? I mean, the Bible even says, the body dies and the energy returns to God, or your spirit, whatever, spirit is energy in my book. And why wouldn't that kind of reincarnation is called in some places, the energy is just, it transfers form somewhere else. So, I really don't want to get into that topic, but
well, they weren't allowed. You weren't allowed to read the Bible for about 600, 700 years, and they don't really want you reading it today. They want you to go to a church, pay your tithes, make your donations, send God your money, but they only give you the preacher's address.
Oh, right. A God that knows everything and that is everywhere, and then they want you to give God money? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's... But science of today is actually making the link between who God is and what God is to us. And I'm firmly believing that each human is like one cell of God, because we can create and we can destroy just like God, if you will. And if we're created in that image, that means we have the same ability, and that's what did Jesus say in the Bible? We're supposed to be doing greater things than Him today. If you're a true Christian.
That's right. And they promoted, in my opinion, and what is it, 350 AD at the Council of Nicaea, they promoted Jesus to God because they didn't want you and I striving to be the kind of man He was.
Right. They can't control you if you have strength within and know who you are. I mean, anybody that reads the book of Thomas, that's why they left it out, because you can't read the book of Thomas and then subscribe to present-day religion. It doesn't work. You can't read Barnabas. You can't read the Maccabees. You can't read those books they left out, the other 200, and follow religion, because it doesn't work. Because we have strength. I mean, I've had witnesses, and the testimonies are on my website of people not needing their wheelchairs and their canes and their crutches after working with us in our clinic. And it's real. It's just you have to allow the brain, your electrical magnetic generator, to start generating positive thoughts and think of the possibilities instead of living in your little box that the industrialized system wants you to live in. That's why freedom and sovereignty is really a hard concept for most people to understand, because they've been conditioned all their life, for the last 150, for the last 1,000 years or better through the church, but to believe that you have to be controlled, or you have no power, and